Carlos Nelson with Cascade Sports, and tonight we're getting into a little the preseason of the Pop Warner type football, and we've got one of the head coaches of the Seminoles. Who do we have here?
My name is B.J. Jackson, founder of the Kansas City Seminoles Youth Football Organization.
Hey, B.J., hey, Coach, run
yes,
it down your credentials. And what I want you to do is, let's go back to kindergarten with the quick step and tell our audience a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, talk about some of the mentors, and then we're going to go into your coaching career.
Okay. Well, I went to D.A. Holmes Elementary School, and that's where I started playing football there with one of the best coaches I ever had in my life, Mr. Hartwell Fisher. And from there,
give our audience some dates.
Huh?
Oh, give our audience some dates so they can.
Oh man, you want me to date myself, bro?
Yeah, they gotta know what's up, baby boy.
Yeah, we talk. Hey man, we talk about. I just tell you like this: it's late 70s.
Right.
Yeah, late 70s, and then I went on to Central Middle School, and played. Back then, they let you as an 8th grader, they let you play football, 9th grade football as a in the 8th grade, man. And you know, it was like 7 or 8 of us, man, that played football. Freshman football in the 8th grade. So I basically had 2 years of freshman football. But after that, man, I was on and popping, man, because, hey, man, it was a game I loved to play, man. And some people might say that I was pretty good at it, man. So, you know, moved on to the varsity level. And,
what position was you playing, Coach?
I was a running back then, you know, and probably 50 pounds ago. Yeah. You know, and you know, I just had you know, like I was telling some guys at work, you know, I was gonna be talking to Mr. Carlos Nelson, you know, but you know, my football dreams, man, you know, came to an end after college, man. I got into coaching and found a new passion for the game, and you know, just teaching kids, man, and giving them a skill set so that they can get, you know, college paid for, get school paid for, so that they can, you know, be successful in life.
Well, tell our audience how long you've been coaching. I'm saying, because I know I'm in media, but if you want to talk about coaching, I'm 71. I've been really coaching ever since I come out of college, off and on, and that was in 75, 76.
Yeah, I started coaching. Actually, I started coaching in late 1989, and I started coaching in the 40 out of the 43rd Street Boys Club with a coach. He's passed on now, but he gave a lot of us in this Kansas City area a opportunity to coach young men. And his name was Phil Hill. Rest his soul. Mr. Phil Hill, he ran the football organization out of the 43rd Street Boys. Man, we was a 43rd Street Boys Club. We looked like the Michigan Wolverines back then.
Talk about the teams that you've coached and what age group you've coached.
When I was with the 43rd Street Boys Club, I started coaching pretty much 5th and 6th graders, and then moved to 7th and 8th graders. And then me and a guy named Jimmy Warren, and he was eventually became the head coach at Westport High School, where I also coached varsity football, coached the running backs, I coached the D-backs, and you know, I decided to start my own little league organization. My son was 10 at the time. And he needed his daddy, man. And you know, we started the Kansas City Seminoles football organization, man. And that's when the winning began, man.
You took my next question, because when we were talking about coaching, I told you how long I was coaching off and on. So as my son is like 40 now, South Suburban, when I moved here from New York, South Suburban really the only place black people in the 70s really could play South Suburban basketball and
That's
what have
absolutely
you.
correct.
And I started coaching my son in the middle school type stuff and scouts and all of that. And I know a lot of coaches that were athletes themselves, they really get attached to coaching once they have a son or a daughter and they get involved in the sport. And a lot of parents, they pull out after their kid leaves that grade, but there's a lot of things like yourself that now that's what you do. Go ahead.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna call you coach because you did it too. But man, my son is 32 years old. Man, he graduated high school in 2015. So that lets you know, and I only have one son, and so that lets you know that I don't have a kid, a biological kid in the program right now. I got a nephew that's 5 that's playing in the and he's coming up through the ranks now. But my son moved on from the Kansas City Seminoles, and he played quarterback at Lee Summit West High School, and his name B.J. Jackson. He was the first African American quarterback in the history of Lee Summit to win a state championship in 2007. That was and at that time that was the only state championship that the city of Lee Summit had won. And just a few years ago, he was inducted into a Lee Summit West Football Hall of Fame.
Hey, Coach. Next question. It's a question, but it's an information. Because you coach from the biddy to the high school. What gives you the most enjoyment, and what's the difference in the learning curve from your 6th, 7th, and 8th graders versus when you dealing with the high school? Let's deal with the lower grades right now first.
Okay, so my organization, we have 2 flag teams. We start them at 4 and 5, so that's the pre-K division. Then we have 6 and 7 year olds, and they're a little bit more advanced flag. And then we have then they move on to tackle at 8 and 9. So and then we got we have a 9 and 10 year old team, and they normally play they play in the 10 year old division, 10 and under. Then we have the 5th and 6th grade, which is 11 and 12, and then the 7th and 8th grade. But what gives me more enjoyment is probably around when they're that first year tackle, because that's when you got you develop and you see those that progress, and you say, man, that kid's gonna be able to play. He's pretty good. He can run the ball. This kid is doing things that you can't teach. We had several that come through like that.
Coach, now talk a little bit about the high school players.
The high school players, man, when you get them coming out of youth programs, it's a lot more enjoyable to teach them more to move on in their football career, because they've gotten the basic fundamentals from that youth level. They've been playing since they were 4, 5, 6, and 7 years old. And once they reach that high school level, they understand what it is that I'm trying to do. So now you teach them to enhance that skill set, so that somebody in the country, I tell the kids all the time, man, there's 1 million schools in the country that will pay for you to go to school and play this game. All I want to do is show you how to build on what you already know. And that's really what the Seminoles are all about.
Tell me this. what kind of parent participation is your organization getting?
Oh, I get, I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of people say that we not here for our kids, but I'm here to tell you, the Seminoles have been in existence since 2000, and I have always a large group of parents that are there for their kids. They buy Seminole T-shirts, and it's like they going to like a high school football game. They rock with their kids, man. And a lot of them come up to me and like, Coach BJ, what is it gonna take me to get one of their jerseys? And I'm telling you right now, I don't sell my jerseys. I'm like, hey, them for them boys. You can go on Fanatics and get you one, but I'm just telling you, we got a lot of T-shirts to sell you, and they buy them T-shirts and they wear them on. We usually have the largest number of parent participation in any league that we played in.
That's what I want to ask you also. So this season, how many boys are you looking to recruit?
Well,
approximately.
We normally have close to 100, 125 kids every single year. That's from top to bottom, though.
How long does the season last?
Generally it lasts from the weekend before Labor Day to like the first weekend in November. Usually I win a Super Bowl on my birthday or around it.
All right. Oh, you talking Big Willie, baby?
Yeah.
That was my hope. You beat me to my daggone questions. Let's talk about some of your records with some of the age groups and how they have progressed. Talk about some of your teams, present and past.
Okay. Man, that's a lot in the archives with the Seminoles, man. My son told me that there was a Facebook post one time, and it said, if you grew up and you didn't play football for the Seminoles, or you didn't play basketball for the Tar Heels, which is my man, Coach Nody, then you wasn't that kind of athlete. So, I had several undefeated seasons, man. And matter of fact, man, the one
Which
that I
age
enjoyed,
groups?
Starting at the very beginning, we played out there at Heart of America Pop Warner and Independence. Man, I was I don't know if I was the first, but I think I was around the first or one of the first African American coaches to win the Truman Bowl in that league, and that league was predominantly white.
So let's talk about this season.
Yes, sir.
And upcoming season. What are you looking forward to?
Man, I'm looking forward to getting back out there on the field with the with all of my age groups, man. My boys, they keep me young, man. They keep me young. And then I got one of my former players, man. He's the head coach at North Kansas City High School, Coach Leon Douglas, and he blessed the Seminoles with the usage of his facility at North Kansas City High School. My kids get to practice on the big game field, the turf field.
That brother's been out there for about 4 or 5 years now.
I'm sorry, say that again, sir.
I said that brother's been over there at North Kansas City High School for 4 or 5 years.
Absolutely. That's one of, he grew up playing for me before he went to Lincoln High School and then went to Mo West, and then he was a recruiter at South Dakota State for years. But yeah, he's given us the, access to practice on their field.
They got a beautiful field over there.
Oh, that's a beautiful stadium. It gives you that college atmosphere. When I was playing, we call it was intimate because the stands are so close and the fans are right up on you.
So talk about how many coaches do you have coaching?
Usually I got about 15 to 20 coaches, and we looking for we looking for more coaches, that can buy into our program and what we're doing with our kids and be a positive, motivating force in their lives and teach them the game of football.
When do you say the season begin again?
You generally the games start around the weekend before Labor Day.
All right. Is there anything that you would like to say as recruiting some new talent to our audience, where they can sign up and get more information on your program? But before you do that, I got another question. Because
Okay.
Cascade Sports is home of the student athlete, how important is the educational component to your program?
The educational component is not probably, it's the most important, because I'm gonna tell you like this. One, if you can't maintain a certain academic level, grade point average, and all of that, you're probably not going to get on the field. You're probably not going to be on the team. There's a thing we stress called student athlete. So you got to be a student first, then comes that athlete part. So if you're not getting the classroom, because even when you're on the team, there's classroom days. They don't understand. A lot of these people don't even understand that. When you in high school now and college, you got a lot of meetings you need to attend, because you're gonna need to know what they doing, when they doing it, how they doing it, and why they doing it, and you need to be in the right spot at the right time, and that's where you learn it in that classroom. So you cannot discard school at all. You can't run from it.
So parents that would like to have their kids join your organization, tell them how they can contact you.
You can go, it's easy. You can go to KC Seminoles 2000 at gmail.com. Sign your kid up today to be a part of the oldest African American independent football organization in the Kansas City metro area. And that's a fact.
You know what's so impressive to me?
What's
said
that?
Independent.
Independent.
Because that's how I feel Cascade Media Group is, independent.
And we appreciate the fact that that you have created this platform for little league coaches and high school coaches and little league and high school players. This is something that, this is something that has been needed for quite some time. And when these kids understand and they see themselves out there, they're like, oh man, I'm on TV. That's all they think about. Yeah, sometimes, man, that's what you need to get yourself out there, because somebody's going to see that, and somebody's going to say, hey, I want to see that kid someday.
And see, we living in a different era where, as we were talking about education, and they have thousands of colleges out there and high schools and recruiters. NAIA schools, they got 10,000 schools.
Yes.
But
yes.
When those schools don't have the big budget to recruit, but when they can see you on a program like ours, whether
Absolutely.
They can see you in an interview, talking intelligently, or they
Absolutely.
can see some of your play. There's Division II, Division III, and junior colleges that will say, hey, I like that kid. Let's give him
Absolutely.
a scholarship. And
Absolutely.
that scholarship will take care of you for the rest of your life. And so, as you pointed out, this is what I try to keep pointing out. It's important for us to support one another, especially people of color, organizations, and businesses, because if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. This platform, this Cascade Sports, and I want to keep saying that Cascade Sports is really what our community needs, because when we get ourselves out there early, because people are doing things early now. You know, you get yourself out there early. I tell my kids, listen, most of the time you're not gonna get to go play somewhere where you want to go. Go where they want you. Might not be Alabama, might not be Power 5, but that's okay, because first and foremost, we're trying to get educated. We're trying to get an education, because when I was an up and coming athlete, my grandfather told me one time, and it stuck with me, son, you're gonna be a man a lot longer than you're gonna be an athlete. And man, he was right. Because I can't run. I used to run about, that 40 and about 4.3. Now I run a 43.40.
Yeah, well, hey, Coach, it was a pleasure having you on the show. And we really look forward to working with you, your team, and the league in the upcoming season.
Man, thank you for having us. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to showcase ourselves on your platform, Cascade Sports.
And as you know, we in the coming week we're going to be having at least 2 of your assistant coaches on.
Yes.
And
yes.
At least 4 to 6 of your players from the different age groups on with the coaches.
Yes.
So, as we always say in closing, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. And as it refers to sports, Cascade Sports, we go hard, baby. We go hard.
This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.